normal damage, if there is a normal expense, I'll give you the examples later on. If there is, just have this in your mind. If there is a normal expense, normal damage that is excluded, it should be extraordinary in nature. Okay? And it should be done voluntarily. Third, and it should be deliberate. Because if there is an accidental damage, it is not that. You have to deliberately damage a cargo or cause loss to a cargo. Okay, if there is an accidental damage, then that is particular average, not a general average. And it should be reasonably incurred in time of a general peril. Okay, and both the vessel and the goods should be threatened in time of a general peril. Both the vessel and the goods must be threatened. And it should be for the common safety. It should be for the common safety. And it should be of a maritime nature. And it is, the general average is peculiar only for maritime ventures, not for anything else. And the danger must be real and imminent. Imagined danger does not qualify. Okay, expenses foreseeing and avoiding danger does not qualify. Example, deviation to avoid a storm. When there is a storm, you deviate the vessel and you incur expenses that is not, and that is not a criteria to qualify for a general average. Because it is the part of the carrier's normal expense. I know this is a little bit tough for you. What?
It should also be extraordinary, right?
It should be extraordinary. And you should always, due to your deliberate voluntary act, you should succeed in saving some part of the venture. Otherwise, nothing is possible. I'll give you a small example. Okay, you have seen all this, right? Okay. Now, we'll take the examples. Then it will be better for you to understand it a little more better. Jettison. What is jettison? Throwing of the cargo into the sea. That is jettison. Now, have jettison in your mind. Throwing of the cargo, okay, in order to float off. So, which means the vessel might be grounded, and in order to float off, we throw part of the cargo into the sea. Now you read this and see whether it is extraordinary, yes or no. And all this, is it voluntarily? Is it deliberately? Yes. Is it reasonably incurred? It is all this, and in time of a general peril. Okay, and it is for the common safety, and it is of a maritime venture, and the danger is real, and it is imminent, and it has succeeded in saving some part of the venture. Clear? Now I think it is getting a little better for you to understand what a general average is, right? Water damage to goods from attempts to extinguish a fire. If there is a fire on board, okay, now fire on board, it happens quite naturally. I mean, quite normally. You can see that. But does it alone qualify to declare a general average? No. But when there is a water damage to other part of the goods or some other goods, okay, which is deliberately caused and voluntarily, when the danger is imminent and you are saving and it is for the common safety, and you are saving part of the maritime venture and of a maritime venture, then that part, then it is qualified for general average. Clear? Not still. The next one is, these are all examples. Port of refuge expenses if the vessel put into an unscheduled port for essential repairs to complete the voyage. If there is a machinery breakdown and you have to call the vessel to a port of refuge, then you incur expenses, and that is to save the venture. And what happens if a general average is declared? Average adjusters are appointed who assist with initial problems and calculate the contribution from each interest. Okay, when general average is declared, you appoint average adjusters. Okay, and the contribution from each interest. Interest means the cargo interest. Okay, because they are also a party to the common maritime venture. So, average adjusters are appointed, they collect so many documents from the cargo interest, and then they decide on how much each cargo interest should contribute to this venture. Vessel, containers, goods and bunkers contribute according to their salved value. Security for GI contribution obtained from cargo interest in the form of average bonds. You know what is a bond, right? It's a promise to pay. Okay, necessarily need not be in cash or by cash, backed by an average guarantee by the underwriter or by cash deposit. And to calculate the whole of it, it may take years. Okay, once these are collected, so this is the salvage operation, what you see there on the my left side, right? Your right side, okay, there. So this is what general average is all about. Now who lodges a claim? You know what is a claim? You know which are the types of claims? Now who lodges a claim? All of them lodges. Is it? Is it? No. There are only parties who are involved in a claim. Who can name all the 6 there? All the 6. Huh. Mars. You have already named that, okay? So they are the parties who are involved in the case. You have got the captain there of a ship, you have got the underwriter there, you have got the stevedore sitting there. Okay? You have got charters, NUOCC operators, freight forwarders, port CFS, stevedores and their liability insurers. You have got the transporters and their insurers, P&I clubs, shippers, suppliers, consignees, receivers, cargo underwriters, recovery agents, surveyors. All of them are involved in a claim, or many of them are involved in a claim, or some of them are involved in a claim. These are the parties who are involved in a claim. You know who is the ship owner, right? Ship charterer. They are out in the shipping industry, right? So you ought to know. But who actually can lodge a claim? Insurance company, consignee. Any more answers? Pardon? Cargo underwriter is insurer. Okay. This is a consignee. Who's a shipper? Party holding a bill of lading. Good. Coming near. Named consignee or the shipper. Okay. One who has insured the cargo. All of the answers are right.
The one who has the right to the title.
That is it. Okay, only Rafael Nadal can actually claim for that. He is holding the title. You know what is the title? Who has, you know what is the title, right?
The ownership of the
Legal owner of the cargo or under subrogated rights. Okay? Now title means, see, whenever you go to the court, what do they ask you first? See, you have got a dispute of your property. Okay? What is that called? Boundary. Boundary dispute of your property. And you go to the court saying that that guy is trespassing into my property. Now what does the court ask you first? Do you have the title to your property? Then you produce that property, that title, and that document of title, whoever has got that, whoever possesses that title document, he is the party who is entitled to claim from the captains. Clear? Clear? So the title holder, it can be the shipper, it can be the consignee, it can be the insurer, it can be the cargo underwriter, it can be the recovery agents upon letter of authority from the title holder. Anybody who fits into this criteria, he lodges a claim. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Now, when are claims? How many questions have you finished now? What? Which? Who? 3 questions. Only 3 more questions. Okay? When are claims lodged? So question number 4, when are claims lodged? When are they lodged? Now this is notification to the carriers. We have talked about Hague-Wiessny rules, Hamburg rules Rotterdam rules and therefore the UAE maritime law also are there. So as and when a cargo is damaged or you find a discrepancy to the cargo, as per the UAE maritime law here, okay, in UAE, you have to notify the carrier immediately upon citing damage to the cargo or within 3 days in the case of a hidden or non-apparent damage. Clear? In UAE maritime, in UAE, if you have to give notification of damage to the carrier, you have to do it immediately upon citing damage to the cargo, or you have got a grace period of 3 days if the damage or discrepancy is not apparent or hidden. In Hague rules or Hague-Visby rules, the same law applies. Okay? Why do we talk about Hague-Visby rules and the Hamburg rules and the Rotterdam rules here? Okay, we can talk about only UAE maritime law. Why the other rules? Because we are talking about the cargo claims from a carrier's perspective. Okay, when you are a carrier, you might receive claims not just from UAE, but you may receive claims for processing from other parts of the world also. So you need to know what law or rules the other states have ratified and what rules they follow. And especially in terms of like the damage notification, according to Hamburg rules, it is immediately or within 15 days. I told you, Hamburg rules were written by whom? By Antitrust, who are a political body rather than a practicing lawyer. They are academic lawyers and politicians. So they are so much in favor of the merchants. Rotterdam rules, they are balanced. It is immediately or within 7 days. But Hague-Visby rules and UAE maritime law, they are more or less the same in as much as notification to the carrier is concerned. Clear? Time for suit. Okay, once that is over, once the notification is over, then there is another procedure called a survey. All fine. We are talking about when cargo claims can be launched. Okay. Now, as per UAE maritime law, this 1 year from the date of delivery or from the date which the goods should have been delivered. 1 year from the date of delivery or from the date on which the goods should have been delivered. What does that mean? Should have been delivered.
Should have been delivered on a specific date.
Expected.
What kind of a claim can come there?
It is not
No.
Into the sea with sins.
No, we have learned 4 types, basically 4 types of cargo claims, right? Of that, when you say should have been delivered, which type of a cargo claim comes in there? Short landing. Short landing claim. Okay, so as per the port regulation, if you should deliver the cargo or if you are permitted to take delivery of the cargo within 6 months or 3 months, in case of containerized cargo it is 3 months, in case of the general cargo it is 6 months. So when you say should have been delivered, if you have not delivered within 6 months or if they have not taken delivery within 6 months, if they obtain a shortage certificate only within the at the end of the 6th month, okay, now they have got 1 year from that date to claim. So it is not just 1 year, but it can be more than 1 year also. Clear? As far as UAE maritime law is concerned, Hague-Visby rules also say the same thing. What about Hamburg rules? It talks about 2 years, and the Rotterdam rules also